The solver add-in allows you to solve for a situation where you have some constraints. So whereas the goal seek function in Excel only allows a set input and output, solver allows multiple inputs and some constraints. So in this example, I'm selling coffee. I decide I want to sell regular, premium, two different premium types, but I have some constraints. So I have a constraint of the total number of cups I can do in a day, and then the maximum of the premium and the mocha cups. Here's my total cups, total revenue. We want to know what is the best combination to get the highest total revenue. So solver, once you've loaded it via the add-ins, will be in the data tab. Over here it's called solver. And when I click on it, it brings up this screen. So the first thing it wants to know is what is the objective. So what I'm going to say is please go, that's the cell I'm worried about. And at the moment I can choose either the maximum, the minimum, or a value of a set number. I'm going to say just give me the maximum you can get. The next thing it wants to know is what cells is it allowed to change. Now in this case I'm working with the number of cups. So I'm going to click here, and by holding the control key down I can click on these different cells and you'll see it's listed here. We are now going to put the constraints in. So to do that, you'll see this is where it goes, and we're going to say add one. So what we need to do is explain to Excel what the constraints are. So the first one is the total number of cups must be less than 500. So I'm going to tell it, look at this cell here, which is the sum of all the cups sold. I'm going to say it must be, you can see you've got all the various options, but I'm going to say it must be less than or equal to, and I can either put a number in, or in this case I'm going to link to that cell there. I've got two more constraints, so I'm going to say add. The next one is the premium cups can only be 350. That's over here. So I'm going to say that this cell must be again less than or equal to that cell there. I'm going to add again. This cell here must be less than or equal to that one there. When we are done, we can say OK. We are almost done. If you have enough knowledge about the subject, you can also choose the way the solving is going to be done. Generally speaking, we leave it on the GRG nonlinear. And now it's simply a case of clicking solve and letting Excel do the work. And what you can see, Excel says it has found a solution. Looking at the solution, it seems that the best possible combination is we do the maximum number of premium cups, the 350. We do the maximum number of mocha cups, and what we left over is the regular coffee. And this gives us an amount of $1,000. Looking at this, perhaps the solution is not ideal because the chances are we're going to sell a lot more of these and probably a lot less of these. So what we can do then is just run another analysis. And I'm going to put another constraint in, and in this case I'm going to say that we need to sell at least as many regular coffees as perhaps these premium coffees. So I'm going to say add a constraint, and I'm going to say that this cell must be equal to, or in this case actually I'm going to say bigger than or equal to that cell. So okay, we now have this constraint. I'm going to ask for it to be solved. Again, it seems to have found a solution. So let's look at the solution. You'll see it's a lot less, 890, but now this seems a lot more reasonable in my mind. In this way, once you've built a model, you can use the solver to find what the best possible answers could be. Doesn't mean they are realistic, and you may find you keep adding various constraints to make them realistic, but it is a very good way of assessing what the correct decision is in any financial model.